It's you. Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to talk about a powerful truth. It's you. In life, your biggest competitor is not your friend, your classmate, or your colleague. It's you. The person you were yesterday, the excuses you made, the fears you felt. That's who you're really fighting. You see, success doesn't come by beating others. It comes when you beat your own doubts, your own laziness, your own excuses. Each day you have two choices: stay the same or grow. Every time you wake up early to study, to train, to work, you are winning against your weaker self. It's not about being perfect. It's about being better than you were yesterday. It's about doing that extra rep, reading that extra page, staying focused a little longer, because that's how champions are made. The real battle is inside. If you win that, you can win anything. So remember, don't compete with the world, compete with yourself. Because in the end, it's you, and that's the only fight that truly matters. Thank you. Your biggest competition is yourself, not others. This simple truth holds the power to completely change the way we view success, struggle, and progress. Many times we are taught to compare ourselves with others, classmates, colleagues, neighbors, or even strangers on social media. We look at their success, their achievements, their lifestyle, and start to feel like we are falling behind. But what we forget is that everyone is walking a different path with different starting points, different obstacles, and different strengths. In this race of comparison, we often lose sight of the most important journey, the one within ourselves. When we shift our focus from competing with others to competing with ourselves, something amazing happens. We stop wasting energy on jealousy, insecurity, and doubt, and we start using that energy to improve. This shift is not easy, but it is powerful. It requires honesty, the ability to look in the mirror and admit where we are falling short, where we can grow, and what we are truly capable of. Think about this. Each day is a new chance to beat your previous self. Were you lazy yesterday? Today, you can choose to be active. Did you give up too early last time? This time you can choose to go one step further. Did fear stop you before? Today you can face it, even if just a little. That's what it means to compete with yourself. It's a game of small wins, daily growth, and mental strength. When you run a race with others, your focus is on them, how fast they are going, how close they are to the finish line, whether they are ahead or behind. But when you run a race with yourself, your focus becomes internal. You ask better questions. Am I better than I was yesterday? Did I try harder than I did last week? Did I push my limits even a little? These questions are not about comparison with others. They are about self-accountability and self-growth. Many people feel pressure because they constantly compare their beginning with someone else's middle. For example, a student just starting out in college may compare themselves with someone who has already graduated and is earning well. Or a new business owner might feel discouraged by seeing a well-established company's success. But that's not a fair comparison. You can't compare your chapter 1 with someone else's chapter 20. Instead, if that student focuses on getting better grades than last semester, or if that business owner focuses on improving sales compared to the previous month, they are on the right path because they are competing with themselves. Competing with themselves. This mindset also brings peace and focus. When you're only trying to beat your past self, you stop getting distracted by the noise of the world. It doesn't matter if someone else is doing better. It doesn't matter if they are ahead. You stay focused on your own path, your own growth. And that focus leads to results. Great athletes, artists, and leaders often say that their biggest challenge was to overcome themselves, their doubts, their fears, their weaknesses. Once they mastered that, success followed. There is also more freedom in competing with yourself. You give yourself the permission to improve at your own pace. You don't need to rush to match someone else's timeline. You don't need to feel like a failure just because someone else succeeded earlier. Instead, you define your own success. For one person, success may be waking up on time every day. For another, it may be running a company. Both are valid as long as they are improving compared to where they started. That's why self-competition is healthy and empowering. It lets you grow without feeling defeated. and defeat. When you accept that your real competition is yourself, you also stop making excuses. You stop blaming others for your lack of progress. Because now your only goal is to do better than you did before. You know your strengths and weaknesses. You know your habits, so you can plan your growth better. You can track your progress honestly without lies or comparisons. This honesty builds discipline, and discipline builds character. Another powerful benefit of this mindset is that it builds resilience. Life is full of challenges. You will fail. You will fall. But if you are competing with yourself, failure is not the end. It becomes a part of the process. You learn from it and bounce back stronger. Every time you stand up after a fall, you've already beaten your past self, the one who may have stayed down. You become tougher, wiser, and more confident. Let's take an example. Imagine someone trying to lose weight or get fit. If they keep comparing themselves to a fitness model on Instagram, they might feel discouraged. They might quit because the gap looks too big. But if they focus on their own journey, running 5 minutes longer than yesterday, lifting a little more weight, eating one less junk meal, they start to feel proud of their progress. They stay motivated because they see that they are improving, even if slowly. That's the power of competing with yourself. The same applies in studies, work, and even personal life. A student might have failed a test, but if they score higher in the next one, they've already won. An employee might struggle with presentations, but if their confidence improves with each meeting, that's victory. A shy person who starts opening up a little more every week is also growing. None of these victories need to be compared with others. They are real, personal, and powerful. Competing with yourself also brings long-term success. External wins are temporary. If you beat someone else, they may come back stronger next time. But if you keep growing from the inside, that growth stays with you forever. You build habits, mindset, and skills that no one can take away. You become your own teacher, your own coach, and that's when you truly become unstoppable. In fact, this mindset is the foundation of self-respect. When you know that you are working to become a better version of yourself, you feel proud, regardless of what the world says. You may not be the richest, the smartest, or the fastest, but you are becoming better than you were before. That is something no one can take away from you. So whether you're a student, a job seeker, an artist, a business person, or just someone trying to live a better life, remember this truth. You are your biggest competitor. If you want real success, stop looking at others. Look at yourself, your habits, your attitude, your choices. Start making small changes. Aim to grow every single day. You don't need to be perfect, just better than yesterday. Improvement starts from within. Beat your old habits. This one idea can change everything in your life. It sounds simple, but it requires deep understanding, strong discipline, and daily effort. Most people want to improve their lives. They want to be successful, fit, happy, or wealthy. But very few realize that lasting change doesn't begin outside. It begins inside. It begins by facing yourself, your thoughts, your habits, and your mindset. Until you beat your old habits, no new result will stay for long. Our daily habits shape our future. A small repeated action, whether good or bad, adds up over time. For example, waking up late, scrolling endlessly on your phone, skipping meals, avoiding exercise, or delaying important tasks may not seem dangerous at first. But when you repeat these small habits every day, they become a routine. And over weeks, months, and years, they silently build a lifestyle that holds you back. On the other hand, waking up early, reading, staying active, eating right, and being organized. These small actions also become powerful habits over time, and they lift you up. That's why improvement must begin with a decision to identify and replace your negative habits. It is not easy, because bad habits are comfortable. They give short-term pleasure, but they steal long-term progress. For example, it's easier to watch a movie than to read a book. It's easier to sleep in than to go for a run. But easy choices today often lead to hard lives tomorrow. And hard choices today, like discipline and self-control, lead to easier lives in the future. The first step in this self-improvement journey is self-awareness. You need to observe your daily routine honestly. What are the things you do that waste your time? What are the actions that damage your health or reduce your focus? What triggers those habits? Is it stress, boredom, fear, or peer pressure? Once you become aware, you can start to take control. You are not a slave to your habits. You have the power to change them. Next comes replacement. You cannot simply break a bad habit. You must replace it with a better one. For example, if you tend to scroll social media for hours at night, try replacing that time with reading or planning the next day. If you eat junk food when stressed, replace it with drinking water or taking a walk. These changes may feel unnatural at first, but with consistency, they become your new normal. Remember, habits are like muscles. The more you train them, the stronger they become. You also need patience. Many people give up too soon. They try to improve for a few days, and when they don't see quick results, they quit. But that's not how growth works. Real improvement is slow. It's not always visible. You may not see the results today or tomorrow. But if you stay consistent, one day the results will surprise you. Just like a seed planted in the soil takes time to grow into a tree, your habits take time to show their full effect. Don't expect a full life transformation in a week. Instead, trust the process. There's also a mental side to breaking old habits. Often, negative habits are a result of deeper emotional issues. People eat emotionally, scroll to escape, or avoid responsibility because of fear, sadness, or low self-worth. That's why improvement from within also means healing from within. Talk to yourself kindly. Reflect on your fears. Learn emotional control. Practice gratitude. These mental habits are just as important as physical ones. Another important part of internal improvement is your self-talk. The way you speak to yourself shapes your actions. If you constantly say, "I'm lazy, I'll never change," or "I'm not good enough," your brain starts to believe it. But if you say, "I'm improving, I'm trying," or "I can change," then you begin to act with more confidence. Change your words, and your mindset will change too. Improving from within also means setting personal standards. Decide what kind of person you want to become. Be clear about your values. Do you want to be honest, disciplined, respectful, and focused? Then start living by those values, even when no one is watching. Your inner standards become your guide in tough situations. They help you make better choices, even when the outside world is full of distractions and negativity. Another challenge people face when trying to beat old habits is the fear of failure. They try to quit smoking, wake up early, or manage their time better. And when they fail once or twice, they feel like giving up. But failure is part of growth. Every time you fall, you learn something. You become wiser. You become stronger. Instead of saying, I failed, say, I learned. Get back up. Try again. The only real failure is to stop trying. You should also celebrate small wins. If you avoided a bad habit even once today, that's a victory. If you followed a healthy habit for 2 days in a row, celebrate it. These small celebrations build confidence and motivation. Improvement is not about big, sudden changes. It's about small, consistent steps taken every day with purpose. Surrounding yourself with the right people is also a key part of improving from within. If you are around people who complain, make excuses, and avoid responsibility, you will slowly start doing the same. But if you are around people who challenge you, inspire you, and support your growth, you will rise. So choose your circle wisely. Let them help you stay on the right path. Lastly, remember that beating your old habits is not about being perfect. It's about being aware, intentional, and consistent. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to take breaks. What's important is that you don't go back to your old self. Every day is a new chance to do better. Not to impress others, but to respect yourself. Your past does not define you. Your future does not control you. What truly defines you is what you do today. So look within, find the habits that are holding you back, and slowly, patiently, and powerfully break them. Build better ones. The outside world will notice your change, but the real victory will always be the one you win inside yourself. Self-discipline wins over talent without effort. This statement holds a deep and life-changing truth. Talent is a natural gift. Some people are born with great intelligence, athletic ability, artistic skills, or leadership qualities. But talent alone is not enough. Without discipline, talent becomes wasted. Without consistent effort, even the most gifted person can fall behind. On the other hand, someone with average talent but strong discipline can go far, achieve success, and earn respect, simply because they show up every day and do the work. Discipline means doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It means waking up on time, following your schedule, completing your tasks, and staying focused, even when it's hard, boring, or uncomfortable. This is the part where most people fail. They want success, but they don't want the discipline that creates it. They want results, but not the responsibility. That's why disciplined people often surpass the talented ones, because they are willing to do what others avoid. Think about a student preparing for exams. A talented student may understand concepts quickly, but if they don't study regularly or revise what they've learned, they may struggle in the final test. Another student may not be naturally sharp, but if they study a little every day, ask questions, and stay committed, they are more likely to perform well. That is the power of self-discipline. It builds habits that lead to long-term success. The same applies in sports, business, art, or any field. A talented athlete who skips training cannot compete with a less talented one who trains daily. A gifted artist who waits for inspiration may never complete a masterpiece, but a disciplined artist who creates every day will eventually produce great work. Self-discipline gives you control over your actions. It allows you to manage your time, energy, and focus in a productive way. It gives you the strength to say a no to distractions and yes to your goals. People often misunderstand discipline. They think it's about being strict, serious, or living a boring life. But discipline is not punishment, it's freedom. When you are disciplined, you don't have to rely on motivation or mood. You don't wait for the right time or a perfect moment. You create your own rhythm. You work consistently. And this consistency creates confidence. When you know you can trust yourself to follow through, you feel strong and capable. Self-discipline is also about making choices that are good for you in the long run. It's easy to choose comfort, sleeping more, eating junk food, watching endless entertainment, avoiding hard tasks. But comfort in the present often brings regret in the future. Discipline, on the other hand, is choosing temporary discomfort. Waking up early, working out, studying, saving money, which leads to future success. It's about giving up short-term pleasure for long-term achievement. A powerful example of this is financial discipline. Many people want to be rich, but they spend money carelessly. They don't save, invest, or plan. They follow trends and spend on things they don't need. A disciplined person, even with a small income, can build wealth over time. They budget their money, avoid unnecessary expenses, and think long-term. Talent doesn't help here. Discipline does. Another area where discipline wins is in health. You don't need to be a fitness expert or a born athlete to stay healthy. You just need regular habits, like eating balanced meals, drinking water, sleeping well, and moving your body daily. These simple acts done with discipline lead to a healthy and energetic life. But without discipline, even the strongest body can fall into weakness and illness. Discipline also affects your mind. A disciplined mind can handle stress, control emotions, and stay calm under pressure. It doesn't react instantly, it responds wisely. This mental control gives you an advantage in life. In arguments, exams, interviews, or any high-pressure situation, a disciplined person remains stable while others panic. They think clearly and act with purpose. To build self-discipline, you must first decide your priorities. What do you truly want? What are your goals? Once your goals are clear, discipline becomes the bridge between goals and results. Set small daily routines. Don't try to change everything overnight. Start by waking up 15 minutes earlier, studying for 30 minutes, avoiding your biggest distraction for an hour, or writing down your tasks. These small habits grow into powerful discipline over time. The next step is to remove temptations. Your environment affects your behavior. If your phone distracts you, keep it in another room while working. If junk food tempts you, don't keep it at home. If social media wastes your time, delete the app or set usage limits. Discipline is not about fighting temptation all day. It's about designing a life where temptation is weaker and your good habits are easier to follow. Self-discipline also means learning to delay rewards. Many people give up because they want instant results. But real results take time. A person working out for 1 week won't see major changes. A writer working on a book won't finish it in 1 day. But with consistent effort, the reward comes, and it's worth the wait. If you learn to delay small pleasures now, you will enjoy bigger victories later. Discipline also requires tracking your progress. When you track what you do, you stay more focused and aware. Keep a journal. Make a checklist. Use a habit tracker app. Seeing your progress, even in small steps, will motivate you to keep going. And if you miss a day or make a mistake, don't quit. Start again the next day. Discipline is not about being perfect, it's about never giving up. One of the biggest enemies of discipline is laziness. It tells you to rest when you should move. It tells you to wait when you should act. But laziness grows if you feed it. The only way to beat it is to move. Take action. Even if you don't feel like it, start. Take the first step. Action creates momentum, and momentum creates discipline. After some time, the hard thing becomes the normal thing. Support also helps. Surround yourself with people who value discipline. Join a study group, a fitness class, or an accountability partner. Share your goals with someone you trust. Let them remind you when you forget. Sometimes a small push from a friend can keep your discipline alive. Role models can also inspire your discipline. Study the lives of successful people. Most of them weren't the most talented. They were the most disciplined. They worked when others rested. They trained when others gave up. They were focused, committed, and consistent. Let their stories remind you that discipline is the real superpower. Lastly, remember that discipline gives you self-respect. When you know you have control over your actions, you walk taller. You stop blaming others for your failures. You take responsibility. And that builds inner strength. You trust yourself more, and others trust you too. Because disciplined people are dependable, focused, and capable. Failure is not the end. It's a lesson and a guide. In our society, failure is often seen as something shameful or embarrassing. People try to hide their failures, deny them, or run away from them. But the truth is, failure is a part of every success story. Behind every strong person, every great achievement, every brilliant invention, there are countless failures. The only difference is how people respond to failure. Some give up, others grow from it. When you see failure as a guide instead of a defeat, it becomes a powerful teacher. From childhood, many people are taught to fear failure. In school, if you get poor marks, you are told you're not good enough. If you lose in sports, people say you're weak. If you make a mistake, others laugh or criticize. This creates a mindset where failure equals shame. As a result, people stop trying new things. They avoid challenges. They play it safe. But this fear of failure becomes a cage that limits their true potential. Quote, because to grow, to succeed, and to create something meaningful, you must be willing to fail. In reality, failure is a sign that you're trying. If you've never failed, it likely means you've never stepped out of your comfort zone. You've never taken risks, explored new paths, or pushed your limits. Every expert was once a beginner who failed many times. Every champion lost before they won. Every business leader had ideas that didn't work. What made them successful was not the absence of failure. It was their response to it. When you fail at something, it hurts. It may bring disappointment, embarrassment, or even heartbreak. But if you take a step back and observe your failure with a calm mind, you will find a lesson hidden inside. Maybe you failed a test because your study method wasn't effective. Maybe your business idea didn't work because you didn't research enough. Maybe your relationship ended because of poor communication. Each failure shows you what went wrong and what to do differently next time. This mindset shift is powerful. Instead of thinking I failed, you start thinking I learned. Instead of saying, I'm not good enough, you say, I'm getting better. This shift builds resilience, the mental strength to keep going despite setbacks. And resilience is more valuable than talent, intelligence, or luck. Resilient people rise again and again. They turn every fall into a step forward. Another way to look at failure is to understand that it builds character. Failure humbles you. It teaches patience, perseverance, and humility. It shows you your weaknesses and forces you to grow. When things go smoothly, you don't learn much, but when things go wrong, you become more aware, more alert, more focused. You become stronger from the inside, and that inner strength stays with you forever. There is also a spiritual aspect to failure. Sometimes when something doesn't work out, it's life's way of redirecting you to something better. Maybe that job you didn't get was not meant for you. Maybe that person who walked away made space for someone better to come. Maybe that delay was protection in disguise. Often you understand the meaning of failure only later when you see where it led you. It's also important to normalize failure in everyday life. If you're learning a new language, you will make grammar mistakes. If you're learning to cook, you'll burn the food sometimes. If you're starting a business, you'll face losses at first. This is all part of the process. Failure is the price you pay for growth. The more you fail, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more you grow. And eventually you succeed. A famous example is Thomas Edison, who invented the light bulb. He failed over 1,000 times before succeeding. When asked about his failures, he said, I have not failed. I've just found 1,000 ways that won't work. This attitude is what made him a legend. A legend. Imagine if he had quit after the first 10 or 100 attempts. The world might still be in darkness. His story teaches us that persistence matters more than perfection. In your personal life, too, failure teaches you who your real friends are. Some people will disappear when you fail. Others will support you, guide you, and encourage you. Failure helps you recognize true relationships. It also teaches you to rely more on yourself, to trust your inner strength and keep moving forward no matter what others say. Failure also removes ego. When you fail, you are forced to accept that you don't know everything, that you need to improve. This creates room for learning. It makes you open to advice, feedback, and new strategies. A person who has never failed often becomes arrogant, but a person who has failed and learned becomes wise and grounded. One of the biggest benefits of failure is that it builds creativity. When one method doesn't work, you try another. You think differently. You become more innovative. Many great inventions, discoveries, and art pieces were born out of failed attempts. If failure didn't exist, growth would stop. So instead of avoiding failure, you must embrace it. There is also a practical skill you develop when you experience failure: problem solving. When something goes wrong, you are forced to think deeply, identify the mistake, and find a better way. This sharpens your decision-making ability. It makes you more analytical. And in today's world, these skills are priceless. Another thing to remember is that failure is temporary. It doesn't define your whole life. Just because you failed at something today doesn't mean you'll fail tomorrow. Just because one door closed doesn't mean another won't open. Life is full of second chances, but only for those who keep trying. If you give up, you close the door forever. With the door forever. If you try again, the door may still open. Also, don't compare your journey with others. Everyone has their own pace. Some people achieve things quickly, others take longer. That's okay. Your failures don't make you less worthy, they make you human. Focus on your own growth. Don't let someone else's highlight reel make you feel like a loser. They may also have faced many failures behind the scenes. They just didn't show them. One more point. Failure teaches empathy. When you've been through struggles, you become kinder to others. You understand what it feels like to fall, so you help others rise. You don't judge people easily. You become more patient, forgiving, and supportive. This emotional growth makes you not only a better achiever, but a better human being. To make failure your teacher, you must also reflect regularly. After every failure, ask yourself, what went wrong? What did I learn? What will I do differently next time? Write it down if you can. Turn your failures into lessons and your lessons into actions. This cycle creates unstoppable growth. Also, be proud of your failures, not ashamed. Wear them like badges. They show that you dared to try. They show that you are alive, learning and moving forward. Don't hide them. Share your story. Inspire others. Let them know it's okay to fail and powerful to rise again. Progress is not always loud or visible. Sometimes it's silent and slow. We live in a world that celebrates quick results, overnight success, and big milestones. Social media constantly shows us people achieving great things, launching businesses, transforming their bodies, buying new cars, or reaching huge goals. This creates an illusion that success is always fast, dramatic, and noticeable. But the truth is, real progress is often quiet. It happens slowly, day by day, in the background of ordinary life. And unless we learn to recognize and respect this kind of silent growth, we may give up too soon. Silent progress is what happens when you keep going, even if nothing seems to change immediately. It's when you're studying every day, but the exam is still far away. When you're exercising regularly, but your body hasn't changed much yet. When you're saving a little money every month, but your bank account still looks small. It's in these moments that many people feel frustrated. They wonder, what's the point? They feel like they're stuck, not moving or wasting time. But the truth is, something is happening. Invisible change is taking place. Just because you can't see it today doesn't mean it's not working. Think of a plant. You plant a seed in the soil, water it, and give it sunlight. For weeks, you may see nothing. But under the surface, the roots are growing. The plant is preparing to rise. If you stop watering the seed just because you see no progress, it will die. But if you stay consistent, one day a tiny sprout will appear, and soon it becomes a strong tree. The same happens with your habits, your learning, your mindset, your skills, and your confidence. Most growth is underground, unseen and slow, but it is real. In personal development, this kind of silent progress is everything. Learning a new skill like coding, writing, or speaking a new language can take months or years. You may not notice how much better you've become until one day you realize you're doing something you once couldn't do at all. The small daily practice, the reading, the writing, the repeating, adds up in the background. Each time you practice, your brain builds new connections. Each time you try, you gain a little more strength, clarity, and understanding. This slow build is what creates true mastery. Mastery. In relationships, too, progress is often quiet. Trust is not built in one day. It grows through small actions. Honesty, listening, showing up, supporting. A healthy friendship or relationship doesn't grow because of grand gestures. It grows because of consistent care. The same applies to your relationship with yourself. Building confidence takes time. You don't suddenly wake up full of self-belief. You build it day by day by keeping promises to yourself, facing your fears, and proving to yourself that you are capable. One reason people struggle to see silent progress is because they are too focused on the finish line. They are waiting for the big moment, the promotion, the transformation, the applause. When that moment doesn't come quickly, they feel stuck. But this is a trap. Real winners are not addicted to the result. They fall in love with the process. They find joy in the daily effort, in the quiet work, in the unnoticed steps. They don't need outside validation to know they are improving. That's why patience is a part of silent progress. You need to trust the process even when there's no proof yet. You need to believe in your direction, not just your speed. Slow progress is still progress. Sometimes going slowly means you are going deeply, building strong foundations that will support you for life. A skyscraper takes longer to build than a hut because its foundation is deeper. In the same way, when your progress is slow, it often means it's strong, stable, and meaningful. Another reason silent progress is powerful is that it protects you from burnout. When you push too hard chasing fast results, you may achieve something quickly, but it may not last. You may exhaust yourself, cut corners, or become stressed. But when your progress is steady and silent, you build healthy habits. You stay balanced. You give yourself space to rest, reflect, and grow naturally. This kind of progress is sustainable. It supports your well-being, not just your success. You also learn a lot more during slow progress. Fast success often skips important lessons. But slow success teaches you resilience, patience, and self-awareness. It shows you how to handle boredom, setbacks, and self-doubt. It gives you time to explore, to make mistakes, to learn from them. These are lessons that build emotional maturity and mental strength. Qualities more important than talent. It's also important to track your silent progress. Just because it's slow doesn't mean it's not measurable. Keep a journal. Write down what you did today, even if it feels small. Review your progress weekly or monthly. You'll be surprised how much you've grown over time. A student who studies 30 minutes daily for a year studies over 180 hours. A writer who writes 1 page a day ends up with a 365-page book. A person who saves just 500 rupees a month will have 6,000 rupees by year's end. These are not dramatic steps. They are small, consistent actions that add up silently. Silent progress also gives you a calm sense of pride. It's not loud, but it's real. You know you're doing the work. You know you're improving. Even if no one else sees it, you feel it inside. This inner confidence is stronger than outside praise. It's stable because it's based on your own experience, not others' opinions. You become someone who doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. You know your worth because you've built it one quiet day at a time. There are many examples of silent progress in history. Writers who took years to finish their best books. Athletes who trained in silence before their big win. Scientists who experimented hundreds of times before a breakthrough. They all had long, quiet seasons of effort before their success became visible. That's why you must respect your quiet season. Don't rush through it. Don't look for shortcuts. Trust that the work you do in silence will speak for you in time. One of the best things about silent progress is that it transforms you from the inside out. You may start with just an external goal. To get a degree, lose weight, earn more, learn a skill. But along the way, you change as a person. You become more focused, patient, disciplined, and grateful. You start valuing effort over results, growth over speed, and character over image. This personal transformation is the true reward of the journey. It's also important to avoid comparing your silent progress with others' visible success. What you see in others is only the tip of the iceberg. You don't see their struggles, doubts, or sacrifices, so don't let their highlight reel make you question your steady progress. Stay in your lane, focus on your path. Trust that your quiet steps are building something great, even if the world doesn't notice yet. Lastly, remember that silent progress makes success sweeter. When you finally reach your goal, after months or years of quiet effort, you will feel deep joy, because you know what it took. You remember the early mornings, the lonely days, the sacrifices. That success will not feel like luck. It will feel like something you earned with your sweat, your time, and your heart. Discipline is the bridge between goals and achievement. And when it comes to the battle of UVSU, discipline is your most powerful weapon. Discipline is not just about strict routines or forcing yourself to do unpleasant things. It is about creating consistency in your actions so that your future self benefits from the work your present self is doing. Discipline means choosing long-term gain over short-term pleasure. It means sticking to your plan even when motivation is low, distractions are high, or results are delayed. In the inner war between who you are and who you want to become, discipline is the force that moves you forward. Many people believe that motivation is the key to success, but motivation is temporary. It comes and goes. Some days you feel pumped, inspired, and excited. Other days you feel tired, bored, or lazy. If you rely only on motivation, your progress will be inconsistent. You'll show up when you feel like it and quit when things get hard. But discipline does not wait for the right mood. Discipline shows up every day, whether you feel like it or not. Discipline says, do it anyway. That is the mindset of champions. Discipline starts with small decisions. Waking up on time, eating healthy, saying no to distractions, studying for an extra 30 minutes, going to the gym when it's raining, saving money instead of spending it on unnecessary things. Each of these choices seems minor, but together they build your character. Every time you choose discipline, you make yourself stronger. And the stronger your discipline becomes, the easier it gets to stay on track, because it becomes a part of who you are. Imagine two versions of yourself, one who gives into comfort, procrastination, and instant pleasure, and one who chooses effort, patience, and long-term rewards. Every day, your actions feed one of these versions. Discipline helps you feed the better version, the one who aligns with your dreams. The truth is, most people don't fail because they lack talent or intelligence. They fail because they lack discipline. They start strong but give up when it gets boring or difficult. But success is not about how you start. It's about how long you can keep going. One of the main enemies of discipline is instant gratification. In today's world, everything is fast. Fast food, fast internet, fast entertainment. We are used to getting what we want quickly. This weakens our ability to wait, to work slowly, and to build something over time. Discipline trains you to delay gratification. It helps you resist the temptation of short-term comfort in favor of long-term fulfillment. For example, watching TV feels good now, but studying will help you pass the exam. Eating junk food feels nice now, but staying fit will make you healthier in the long run. Discipline helps you choose what matters more over what feels good right now. Another challenge to discipline is distraction. And with phones, social media, and endless entertainment, staying focused is harder than ever. But discipline includes managing your environment, turning off notifications, creating a schedule, setting boundaries. All these are acts of discipline. A focused mind is not a gift, it's a skill built through disciplined habits. The more you train your brain to focus, the more control you gain over your time and energy. Discipline also brings freedom. This may sound strange because people often think of discipline as a restriction, a set of rules or limitations, but in reality, discipline sets you free. When you are disciplined, you don't panic at the last minute. You don't suffer from regret or guilt. You don't feel out of control. Instead, you feel calm, prepared, and in charge of your life. You know where your time goes. You know that your actions match your values. That is true freedom, not being controlled by emotions, urges, or outside influences. Building discipline is not easy. At first, it feels uncomfortable. Waking up early is hard. Saying no to friends so you can study feels lonely. Doing the same thing every day can feel boring. But with time, these hard things become habits. Habits become routines. Routines become lifestyles. And your lifestyle shapes your future. The first few weeks are the hardest, but once you cross that barrier, your mind adapts. What once felt difficult becomes normal. This is how discipline becomes natural. One important way to build discipline is to create systems, not just set goals. A goal is a target, like I want to lose 10 kilos. A system is the daily routine that helps you reach that goal, like exercising every morning and eating home-cooked meals. Systems create structure. They remove the need to decide every day what to do. When your day has structure, it's easier to stay disciplined. You don't have to fight with your willpower all the time. You just follow the system. Another helpful strategy is tracking your progress. When you see how far you've come, you feel more motivated to continue. Use a calendar, journal, or app to track your habits. Did you exercise today? Did you avoid junk food? Did you study for an hour? Mark it. These small marks give you a sense of pride and accountability. And they help you see your consistency, even when results are not visible yet. Surrounding yourself with disciplined people also helps. Your environment influences your behavior. If your friends waste time, complain, or avoid responsibility, their mindset will rub off on you. But if you're around people who are focused, hardworking, and disciplined, you will naturally rise to their level. Positive peer pressure is a powerful tool. Choose your circle wisely. Another key to discipline is self-respect. When you keep the promises you make to yourself, you start trusting yourself. You feel proud of who you are becoming. Discipline is a form of self-love. It means you care enough about your future to act now. It means you believe in yourself, even when no one is watching. Every time you choose discipline, you are proving to yourself that your goals matter. Discipline also prepares you for tough times. Life is not always smooth. You will face problems, delays, failures, and pain. In such moments, discipline becomes your anchor. It keeps you grounded, It reminds you of your purpose. It helps you keep going even when everything around you feels uncertain. This inner strength cannot be built overnight. It is developed through years of disciplined living. One of the most inspiring things about discipline is that it's available to everyone. You don't need money, connections, or a perfect background to be disciplined. You just need the decision. You need the commitment to start and the courage to keep going. Every small act of discipline is a brick in the foundation of your dream life. Whether you're a student, a worker, an artist, or an athlete, discipline will always be your best tool. Remember, discipline is not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. You will slip up sometimes. You will miss a workout, eat something unhealthy, or procrastinate. That's okay. What matters is that you get back on track. Discipline is not about never failing. It's about never quitting. Each time you return to your routine, you strengthen your willpower. Lastly, be kind to yourself as you build discipline. Speak to yourself with encouragement, not harsh criticism. Treat yourself like someone you are responsible for, because you are. Celebrate your small wins. Acknowledge your efforts. Forgive your mistakes. The journey of discipline is not just about changing your actions. It's about changing your identity. You are becoming someone who shows up for themselves, someone who lives with purpose, someone who wins the battle of you versus you, not through loud victories, but through silent, steady, disciplined action. So, at the end of the day, the battle is not with the world. It's with yourself. Every challenge, every excuse, every fear, and every doubt begins within you. And the good news is, so does the power to overcome it. You don't have to be the loudest, the fastest, or the strongest. You just have to be better than who you were yesterday. The race is not against others, it's you vs you. Win that and you win everything. And if you felt this message in your heart, don't forget to like, share, and comment "I'm ready to win" below. Subscribe to the channel for more real talk, deep motivation, and mindset mastery. Until next time, keep growing, keep grinding, and remember, you are your only limit.